following is a Galactic Digital Studios production. Hello everybody, this is Raoul/Owl and welcome to the first ever AMA for the Closing Tag Network. Now, in case you're unfamiliar with internet lingo, AMA means Ask Me Anything. Yeah, that's going to be a dangerous thing going forward. But anyway, I have some questions that were sent to me since I pretty much opened things up to, hey, ask me anything. And I don't have the names in front of me because I decided that unless someone is going to specifically say, hey, I want you to include my name in this question, unless someone is explicitly telling me that, I'm not going to include the name in the question. So also keep in mind these will probably be broken up into shorts later on, so there's that. But let's start with this question for Newsdesk, and that is, when are you going to get to the Hunter Biden criminal conviction or the corruption of Joe Biden? I'm assuming this person is a Donald Trump fan, so I'm just going to leave that alone. The Hunter Biden criminal conviction, while distressing, is over gun charges. Gun charges versus lying multiple times to government officials and creditors and people that are willingly giving you money. Apples to oranges. Also, I would love to know what exactly Joe Biden is doing as that's being so corrupt. I'm not trying to disagree with you or argue with you. I'm just saying I would love to know what it is you're talking about specifically, instead of just these blanket statements that you guys love to throw out there. But anyway, continuing on. This one's for Tech Time. Do you still think AI will take everybody's jobs? I think that AI will supplant a lot of jobs in the next 5 years. I think a lot of jobs will be lost to AI in the next 5 years. However, I also think that AI is going to present a whole new opportunity for new jobs and what. I mean, we're seeing a lot of job creation over the last, I want to say, 12 months. And a lot of it has to do with the advancements in technology. I also happen to think that we're going to be leaning very heavily towards high-speed rail. I know that everybody keeps saying, well, it's never going to happen in the U.S. because the airline community and the car industry is not going to let it happen. I'm going to tell you a big reason why it will happen. And that is this whole Boeing thing. Boeing is in a lot of hot water right now with the feds as far as their airplanes coming apart. And I think that if more and more situations happen like the one with Boeing is happening right now, like the one that happened with United Airlines years ago, more and more people are going to be turned off to flying commercial airline. And that's going to lead more and more people towards, traveling either by train or by car. Obviously, with gas prices being the way they are, the only logical step from there is high-speed rail. That's going to create a lot of new jobs as well. If Joe Biden ends up getting reelected, I firmly believe he is going to institute a plan, a 15, 20-year plan to institute high-speed rail in this country, and that's going to create a shit ton of jobs. So definitely keep an eye out on that as far as job creation and unemployment and all this other stuff is concerned. This next one is for Ring the Bell. Do you believe in Joe Hendry? I believe in Joe Hendry. It's interesting. I've been a fan of Joe Hendry's for years, even before all this craziness that went on with Ring of Honor and everything else. Joe Hendry, back when he was in ICW, was probably one of my favorite parody wrestlers because he would come out to all these different entrances and whatnot. My favorite to this day is the Pokemon entrance where he was making fun of Mr. Anderson, if you remember Mr. Anderson. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Joe Hendry's. I'm not as huge of a fan of his wrestling, of his in-ring style, but in terms of his promos, in terms of his ability to engage with an audience, he's one of the best. Has been for a while. But we're now seeing him at his absolute best, in my opinion. Next one's for Sports Central. What are your pro sports teams? Right now, I don't really have pro sports teams. Like, my only allegiance right now is to the Seattle Seahawks, and that's still kind of waning. I have basically sworn off on being a Jazz fan until they come to their senses and fire Danny Ainge. As far as hockey goes, not really set on any one particular team. Although I do like the Golden Knights and I do like the Seattle Kraken. Just saying. As far as soccer's concerned, again, I don't really have a team per se. I'm usually just kind of fluid as far as that goes, but I will say that the one team that I don't like in MLS is the LA Galaxy. I have my reasons. And as far as baseball goes, baseball can go to hell for all I care. These last three are more generalized questions. The first one is, would you rather... This is an interesting question considering it starts off with would you rather. Would you rather Yellowstone erupt or all-out nuclear war? That's an easy one. Yellowstone. Give me Yellowstone erupting 10 times out of 10 over an all-out nuclear war, because at least we're guaranteed at least half of the population of the human race on this planet will survive Yellowstone erupting. We're not guaranteed anything like that with a nuclear war. If nuclear war falls out, we're all pretty much fucked. The next one, Twitch or YouTube? Well, I mean, lately it's been YouTube, because Twitch is very stingent on putting pre-recorded material on their platform, and until that restriction is eased up a little bit, unfortunately, I can't post these type of things on Twitch. It's going to have to be Facebook and YouTube. That's about it. And I refuse to go on X. Mostly because I don't like drugs. Which leads me to the last question. Why have you stopped streaming? And yes, there was like exclamation marks and question marks and all that stuff. But anyway, why have I stopped streaming? Well, I mentioned this before, but it bears repeating that right now, and you probably won't be able to hear it because of the fact that I'm going to post-production the shit out of it, but this little boy right here is dying. Yeah. My microphone is dying. And since I cannot guarantee that people are actually going to hear me as I'm streaming, and I don't like using the laptop microphone or the microphone attached to this little bad boy here, I just choose to not stream, because I don't need the extra headache. I've got enough on my plate as it is right now. So Stream's just going to have to wait until I get a new microphone. That's just the way it is sometimes. But thank you for sending your questions. Thank you for engaging with me on this little journey. And I encourage everybody that's watching this to also send questions, either in the comment section or to Raul@theclosingtag.com. Right about now would be a good time for me to post-production the email here. And until next time, or until the next time I do one of these, remember to include your closing tags and rock your Deadpool shirts if you got them. Thank you. This has been a Galactic Digital Studios production.